Hi, everyone. It is a monumental night, the eve of the weekend. I have Lake Placid 2 on in the background, and it is time for the Dark Match, this week's edition of the Dark Match, to talk about Impact Wrestling Impact. I am Christopher Says.
Hello, and I am Mr. War Machine.
And I'm the Revolver Man.
And I am your foxy friend Backlash, and as always we are here with What is Iron Sheik tweeting now? Osama Bin Laden, you are worse than Tiger Woods, Sandra Bullock husband, and the Mel Gibson. I smile when I hear you die.
Oh,
Thank you, Sandra Bullock, too.
No, it's her husband.
Oh.
Who's Sandra Bullock's husband?
I have no idea. Probably some asshole.
If we go into that story, we'll be here all day. But
speaking of assholes,
it was him. Yeah, an asshole.
Speaking of assholes, how about that Impact Wrestling?
Impact Wrestling Impact.
Guys, we're going to have to give Impact Wrestling Impact some credit, because they did something I never thought they'd ever do again. They opened with a match.
No.
Surely you jest, good sir.
You forgot the fact that they opened with a title card of In Memoriam Randy Savage.
Oh, that's right.
Which I don't like. I'm there's nothing to make fun of there. I'm glad they did it.
It shows they have a bit of class, but that's going to fade throughout the night.
Hey, but the first match was an opener, kind of a sheep in wolf's clothing, or the other way around. I don't know, but it starts off with Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray versus AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels.
Oh, the terrifying combo of Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray.
Yes,
I am quaking in my shoes as we speak.
Mister, I'm trying to do the anti-hardcore thing with AJ Styles because Mick Foley did it with me, but I mean the match was good.
I'm doing anti-hardcore with a guy who doesn't do hardcore.
Yeah, nah. I guess High Flying is the new hardcore, but like the match was like
it's not even that high flying, at least compared to say Lucha Style or anything. So who knows with Tommy Dreamer? You know what? He's just pro crying.
All right,
Tommy Dreamer's just pro crying.
I consider him. I would consider anyone high flying who has finished as a springboard 450. That's kind of, but nonetheless, like the
Does he ever use it?
Yeah, sure. He uses the spiral tap, like a lot of other stuff. But nonetheless, like the match was good because Dreamer was pretty much in his natural habitat step of hardcore matches, and of course with AJ and Christopher Daniels involved, like they you're going to get something good. But what was particularly good about the match was the psychology with AJ Styles coming out with a neck brace, and one spot where Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer like just trade places doing endless neck breakers on him.
They also did a spike pile driver too.
Oh yeah.
Well, they set up for the spike pile driver, but AJ managed to get out of that, and then him and Dan pulled their own spike pile driver and got the win.
That's right.
And to AJ's credit, he sold it. He sold everything that happened.
Yeah, he kept selling that neck. He didn't say like some wrestlers forget a quarter of the way in.
Like basically after the finish, after the pin, he just fell over and started grabbing his neck, and good job.
Oh God, my spine.
But we move from there to a segment.
First, can we actually point out, because they were talking about this all night, the main event was going to be Kurt Angle, Rob Van Dam. Decent main event for Impact, but they're advertising this as first time ever.
Yeah,
I think they said first time ever on Impact.
First time ever on Impact, but they were like, oh, it's going to be monumental, it's going to be amazing, and I guess we'll get to the match, but oh, God. Anyways,
with that hyping up, you think, maybe we should have put this on a pay-per-view? No? Okay.
No, we'll just advertise it the night it happens. But, yeah, we go to oh, dear God. Well, the Scorpion sit-down.
Yeah, the Scorpion sit-down. This segment, they advertise it as, like, Sting having his kind of peep show or whatever the hell Edge's thing was. I forgot. But, it failed, but it also succeeded, and not for the reason that we were supposed to, like, But either way, Ken Anderson is once again dressed as the Stinger. He's dressed as late 80s, early 90s Sting, and
I call him the Sergeant Pepper Sting.
Sergeant Pepper Sting.
And it's like, yeah, because you fucking, and I understand why they're doing this. It's because they built it up by not showing his face for like the last week, and then when
anybody freaking fooled though?
He didn't get any mileage out of it.
Well, that's because nobody was fooled. As soon as we saw Sting in the old gear, we're like, oh, that's going to be Ken Anderson.
But either way, Ken Anderson as Sting introduces none other than Disco Inferno.
And I face-palmed straight through my skull.
Ooh, yes.
I yelled at the top of my lungs, Disco Inferno!
I can only imagine that Vince Russo is sitting in the back with like a wall of these washed-up guys from WCW. It's like, oh, who can I get for a guest appearance next week? Disco Inferno. Get him on the phone.
I mean, did he just write like 8 or 9 names down, throw them in a hat, shuffle them up, and then stick his hand in there without looking, and then pull out Disco Inferno?
Yeah, they were like, what about Hugh Morris? Hugh Morris? Isn't he working for? No, that's Bill DeMott.
No, they're the same person, sir.
I know.
No.
Same. That was freaking.
No shit.
But yeah, Disco Inferno comes out doing his whole Tony Manero shtick with all the pointing and dancing, disco dancing and shit.
He's wearing a suit.
The crowd at the beginning, I have to say, was confused because, well, you know what? I'll hand this to Russo. Disco Inferno was not on my radar at all.
No.
Yeah, it was a.
It's a swerve that worked.
Yeah, kind of. I totally if there was anyone he was going to bring out. Yeah, it didn't register Disco Inferno as his first choice.
Certainly wasn't my suspect.
Not mine at all.
I almost didn't even recognize him because he's wearing like a suit and everything. And
the guy looked pretty much didn't age.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked good for a guy who's like, what is he, like 42 now?
Something like, I thought he was in his 50s.
But they sit down and Anderson's like, tell me about like being in the ring with Sting and this and that and the other thing. And while Disco Inferno is trying to like say like, man, in the old days at the Astrodome or like people filled it up and the crowd was reacting, and all through it, Anderson's doing like the Sting howl or whatever it is.
He's wooing for some strange reason.
No, that Sting used to do that. He used.
Yeah, I know. God damn it! Christopher says it's a joke.
Yeah, I know. That's the second time this happened. But either way, like Anderson's interrupting him, and Disco Inferno says, "You really are an asshole," setting up the whole thing. And Anderson,
I'm sorry. It's just I don't. Who in the board meeting, when they were throwing around words to call Anderson, to describe Anderson, who was the guy who came up with asshole, and what's his address? Because there's some
it was Anderson himself.
It was Anderson himself.
Because
this is all Anderson's freaking. He's pretty much got free reign.
Yeah, full credit pretty much. Like, if you listen to a shoot interview he did, he was like, he said to Vince McMahon, my shtick is basically, nice guys finish last, thank God I'm an asshole. That, when he first, like, came up from
chewing gum. Don't forget the gum.
But, yeah, yes. And Anderson...
Gum is essential to his character, don't you know?
Anderson basically says that like, well, let's just, like, get to brass tacks. I've called you down so you could bury Sting. And Disco Inferno was like, bury Sting? I gotta say, man, you're not an asshole. You're nothing but a dick.
Okay, I gotta say something. Fuck you, Russo, for actually using the term burying someone. I don't care if it's Sting, you're an asshole for using that. And I don't mean asshole as in the cute Ken Anderson way. You suck.
But,
and I mean, does he think he's edgy by using the word dick? Does he expect us to sit on our couches and go, oh, he just called Anderson a dick? See, I mean,
I don't really give a damn, but I actually thought that was funny. Probably not for the reason they were intending, but I thought it was hilarious.
The one funny part was right after he calls him a dick, he starts doing his dance, and then Anderson's Sky microphone comes down, and he goes, dick, right into it. That was good.
Crowd starts chanting dick, and Disco starts dancing again, and Anderson takes him down. Yeah.
He busts him wide open with the Sky.
Well, this leads to one of the things I hate the most. Why didn't Disco Inferno realize he was going to attack him when he was sitting there doing that fake laugh thing? Why didn't Disco strike first? I mean, he's supposed to be a wrestler of, 30 years? That's never happened to him? And he's like, oh shit, he wasn't actually laughing. He was going to hit me. I've never had this happen to me before.
Well, I mean, it is Disco Inferno.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
But he's attacking him, busts him open. Sting comes out for the save, and it's
after like 3 minutes.
Yeah, very
on that Sting.
Very
enough time for Ken to hit him repeatedly with the microphone, and for a nice close-up shot of blood gushing out of Disco's head.
Which I feel sorry for him because that was a nice shirt.
Yeah, but guess what? It's time for next.
Knowing TNA, it was probably $50,000, and he gets to keep it.
Yeah, Russo pretty much thought he could pull wool over our eyes by starting with a good match and then doing the normal obligatory man talks in ring for 15 minutes.
The shooting segment where we use insider terms like this is 98 and still edgy.
But we have a backstage segment now between
the best thing in Impact Wrestling, Eric fucking Young.
Yes, the blue chipper with the Harvey Fierstein voice. Basically, Gunner, he's like, I want to fucking kick your ass. He breaks down the stall door, and Eric Young's like, there was a mistake last time. That Battle Royal was not for the title. But I have a plan. You know, Georgia Dome, Hogan, Nash, finger poke? We could do that. You could get the title. It's okay. And Gunner says, you better lie down for me. You better lie down.
Or I'll make you lie down.
Hey-oh! Yeah, speaking of lying down, boom! Hey-oh!
But next thing we get is another promo.
We're going to the Velvet Sky promo where she's inexplicably feuding with a different person.
She's like, ODP, I have unfinished business, you bitch!
You know, I think, quite honestly, this shows how expendable they find the knockouts.
Well, before you go into that, I want to bring this up. Apparently, Velvet Sky doesn't remember her own history because, there's a reason why OBD hates you, because you used to be one of the fucking beautiful people.
But, ODB comes out and she's like, well, I'll tell you why I attacked you. It's like, the company decided last year that they didn't...
One of the fucking beautiful people! Continuity, Russo!
She says, gee, last year TNA management decided they didn't want me anymore. Could that have been because of my talent? Could that have been because of my bad attitude? Or no, I think Velvet got me fired because she's did the casting couch in essence. But Velvet retorts in her velvety way, and ODB says she worked her ass off, and all you did was get breast implants.
Yeah, I was laughing.
God damn it, ODB.
But, and as ODB she's criticizing her quite harshly. She says, are you going to cry about it? And Velvet says, I'll give you something to cry about. Punches her. ODB subdues her, gets on top of her, and says, you'll spit on your back, don't you?
She was raping her.
That doesn't even require a hey-oh. It's what they did.
She was
not cool.
While she was attacking her. That was a violent sexual assault. Russo, my God, man. Seriously, your woman... Like I said before, I will not be surprised they go into his freezer and find hookers.
They advertise versus Matt Morgan.
Ooh, that'll be a good match.
Kurt Angle facing Rob Van Dam, and they follow that with a video package about RVD and Kurt Angle's many skills and oh, we're so excited. This is the first time it's happened.
By the way, Rob Van Dam sounded so bored in that video package.
Oh, yeah, I was just talking about this when it came up last night. I fucking hate serious RVD. I hate the fact that TNA's not letting him be his, like, sort of arrogant character where he's like, everyone wants to see the whole, like, it's not him.
He either needs to be the cocky asshole he was back in ECW, or needs to be that kind of laid-back, kind of stoner-like dude he was in WWE. This doesn't work, what they're doing with him. Especially because he still sounds like a stoner. Only because he is stoned off his ass.
Yeah, the problem is you can say that about anybody in the TNA locker room now. And how they're making him into angles now.
But, another backstage segment follows that with Robert Roode and James Storm going to Eric Bischoff. Robert Roode.
First, they did recap what happened with Flair last week. Also, we need to say goodbye to Ric Flair. He's going to jail.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if anyone knew this, but he owes $35,000 to High Spots. Mm.
And he's now officially in contempt of court. There's a warrant out for his arrest. I don't know if he has been arrested yet, but they're looking for him.
But basically, Ric Flair was like, he was trolling, and High Spots was like, I'm not trolling.
Wait, let me finish. It's 2011, and Flair has found a way to get himself into debtor's prison. Good work, Flair. Good work.
I must say, Ric Flair, this is a exceptional job. In all of my years, never would I think that you would go to jail on debt charges.
Speaking of,
I figured maybe it would be the dozen hookers that you killed with a spoon.
Ooh, dark there, War Machine.
Well, you know.
And basically, like, with Roode being injured, James Storm and, like, Bischoff pretty much tells him, you know what happened to RVD? 30 days, you fuck your titles, and we're going to take him away from you. And they threaten him, and Bischoff basically says, hey, sorry about your damn luck.
Okay, never mind the stupid of this about we don't need to rehash the whole RVD bullshit. But didn't earlier we have AJ competing with a kayfabe injured neck, and they'll clear him. They won't clear Robert Roode with a shoulder injury.
Well, don't you know the shoulder's a valuable part of the body?
Oh, yes. They're by far the most important part. Screw the thing that attaches your head to your shoulders.
But also, like, someone pointed out the hypocrisy, the irony of this is that AJ Styles was just wrestling with a neck brace, and Roode has, like, a shoulder arm injury, and he's not cleared.
Well,
decide to yourself.
I don't know if it's like OCD or ADD or if Russo's actually aware of this, but he writes without realizing what he's written for the same show. It's like each segment, you might as well think of each segment as its own separate universe. You might as well think of Impact Wrestling as just like 28 different universes, and we all just see it only a small part of each universe.
Anyways, let's just move on to the next thing, which is, it's a recap from Explosion! Because, that still exists.
You guys, what's Explosion?
Yeah, what is that thing with the two X's?
Anyways, the only thing we need to know about this is that Pope and Devon are feuding. Why? I don't know. I don't care.
And apparently
it does explain why.
Apparently Devon's heel and Pope is face. Which, that was...
What? I don't... God... What?
Oh, fuck it. Let's just move on to the next shit match. Jeff Jarrett versus Matt Morgan. You have awakened!
Hey, I bet you forgot this was a wrestling show! Because, wrestling matters.
I mean, it's just... Okay, I had to watch TNA alone because I just kind of missed the stream chat that we were having. The show is torture. It really is. Like that's the only way to describe it. And this match, it's like 40 lashings to the back. I mean,
I was physically ill after watching this show.
I mean, most notable was that, like, Karen came out in a wheelchair, even though she didn't look the least bit injured. She wasn't trying to fake it at all. Like, she wasn't clutching anything. Earl Hebner tells her to get into the aisle, and she's instrumental in the finish. She hands Jarrett a crutch. The ref is distracted. He hits Matt Morgan with a crutch and does the stroke.
Jeff Jarrett does the job again.
But Morgan kicks out of the stroke.
Holy crap!
But yeah, Morgan just choke slams the bitch, and he hits the brogue kick.
And then, Scott Steiner runs out.
No, he pops in from the Little People's Court.
He pops in from the Little People's Court, and then hits the Flat Steiner, and then rolls Jarrett on top for the win. Explain? I mean, did I miss something?
They're feuding, I think.
Yeah, he basically hits the mic check on Morgan, and Jarrett gets the win, of course. Oh yeah, Matt Morgan did that thing where he has him in the corner and he hits him with his elbows, and he always does that? I forgot.
And we have to celebrate. We have to watch Jeff and Karen making out. Yeah, this was the point where I started feeling sick during the show.
That is almost as bad as the bad news we got about China earlier in the week, and I will not be repeating it for the sake of our sanities.
Let's just say there are many back doors
to China.
But now we have the highlight of the show. Because it's time for Eric Bischoff to try to explain this plot.
Dude.
He comes out, and basically he's talking about Hulk Hogan at a shareholders meeting in New York with the network. Which network? We assume Spike TV, but they can't say that because, hey, this also airs in Britain.
And Hogan says something along the lines of, "Well, I was at the meeting, brother, and I talked to the network execs, and they saw what a genius I was at business, dude, so they gave me full control." And Foley doesn't have control over the pay-per-views. He was like, "Oh, Bischoff, I love what you did to that X Division, how you wiped it off the map."
Yes, it was the biggest moneymaker in this company for years. Way to get rid of it.
I can't.
But wait! We're not done yet! Because there's more stupid to add to this when Mick Foley joins us.
Oh, yay.
And basically,
because
what he
if there's
says...
anyone I wanted in this segment, it's Mick Foley.
And he explains that after Hogan
Wait,
left...
did anybody notice how weird his hair was looking?
His hair always...
His hair always looks like he got into a fight with his blow dryer. I mean,
Oh, that's the point of
it. Foley goes on.
Now you're just. Ugh.
Foley goes on saying, like, after you left, I managed to sway the network back in my favor, or something along that lines. But I'm trying to make sense of this. Basically, Hogan got control of Impact at the meeting.
Wait.
Then after he left, Foley kind of regained control, and now he's threatening that TNA can't promote their pay-per-views without the network, but they don't want the X Division. But Foley is hiring a bunch of X Division guys, even though I don't think the network can hire talent. And oh my God, my head hurts.
Here's how I imagine the board meeting went. 3 months ago. Listen up, brothers. I need full control of TNA, brothers. You gotta give me control. Okay, Hulk. Then Mick Foley comes in. Hey, never mind that shit. Give me control. All right. It's as simple as asking over at Spike TV.
No, here's my theory. Spike TV is in fact ran by trolls who just like fucking with TNA's management.
I mean, I don't even think we should give Spike TV that kind of props. Because I don't even think they're competently ran enough to be able to troll somebody.
Well,
let alone
their programming. What is the bulk of their programming? Mansers,
CSI
TV with Jeff Keighley, a whole bunch of syndicated shows that everyone stopped caring about years ago. Oh, and the Star Wars prequel.
1,000 Ways to Die.
26 hours of CSI a day, can't forget that.
The Star Wars movies, which I guess isn't too bad.
Slapchop commercials.
No, it is bad when they show them about 5 times a freaking week.
Yeah, it gets pretty grating. That's the bulk of their programming. It's meant to appeal to frat dudes who think that, Spike TV's awesome because they show barely boobs.
And you wonder why Impact Wrestling is their highest rated show.
But anyway,
Wait, it's beating out Ultimate Fighter?
Apparently so.
Why?
Wow.
I don't even like UFC.
I think the UFC fad might be starting to end here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we'll see. Bischoff says, well, Foley, you're scouring the globes for X Division people. What do you know about X Division, you sock pulling out of pants jerk off? And Foley, you may be a network exec, but you don't have the power over pay-per-views. And Foley says, I'll see you at Destination X. And Hogan says, oh, you wanted to do hardcore, and you'll fight Abyss for the X Division title, and you'll represent the X Division. And Hogan, this is at this point.
Just fuck. What?
At this point, Brian Kendrick comes out, and he has a mic. Oh boy! And he basically says, "You are just a bunch of reptilians, and I'm going to eradicate your synchronicity." And then Hogan's like, "Well, Kendrick,
he's really becoming mini warrior, isn't he?"
Well, not even. It's like Hogan's like, "Kendricks, you better go in the back with the rest of your boys." And Kendrick's like, "Oh yeah, we could go. We're underrepresented. You need to represent us, X Division people." Gimmick switching.
I'd also like to point out the fact that Generation Me and Amazing Red are there just looking at why are we giving this guy the mic? Why is he our mouthpiece? And they could take Hogan if they wanted to. If they're this pissed off about it, beat the crap out of him. What's Bischoff gonna do?
That's the killer about this thing. Immortal can't do this, really shouldn't be able to do this shit because everybody else at TNA could obliterate them. The X Division, kill Hogan, kill Bischoff, kill Bully Ray, kill Fat Hardy.
We here at DarkMatch do not promote the death of people.
We only promote the death of careers.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Can we just move on from this? All that happens is they set up a X Division title shot between Abyss and Brian Kendrick.
But
wait. The X-rated Abyss.
There is not enough facepalm power in the world!
The X-rated Impact Star.
I don't understand. What kind of retarded nickname is that?
Because X is a higher rating than R.
Best idea since the Universal Wrestling Federation. But we have a backstage segment where Winter's massaging Angelina Love.
Hey.
By candlelight and saying, I'll be there for you, Angelina.
Well.
But, yeah.
Next match. New challenger. Mickey James versus Winter.
Which, again, one of the better matches of the night, but even with its 3 to 4 minute length. We got to see, Mickey James and Winter's skills. We get to see Winter do a Bridging Northern Lights, and the match finished with the Mickey DT, and, well, I don't...
It was a good match.
It was a good match. The segment that followed was strange.
Yeah.
So,
it's Abyss backstage talking about
not even that. Before that.
Angelina Love attacking Mickey James, even though she can't really do anything without Winter telling her to.
Yeah, it was.
I guess Winter must have made a fail-safe or something in Angelina.
No, she's psychic.
Yeah, she's a witch. Anyway, Abyss is brooding backstage in another one of TNA's door frame, and
She put a spell on her.
Oh, and he's got Janice back.
Oh, yeah!
Janice!
Suddenly we're acting like Janice never left.
But actually, that's not going to last, because as he starts to head to the impact zone, he's attacked by Kazarian, who basically hits him on the head, takes out his leg, and says, "You're not going to be hurting anyone anymore." And he takes Janice and runs off.
And he says, "Hey, yo, you're going to division? No way."
Now, I'd like to point out that Abyss is now technically injured because he was limping on his way to the ring. He was selling a knee injury. And
he's fragile, isn't he?
This match,
he's a soft little butterfly.
This match was insulting.
No, it wasn't. It was all right.
Well, no, because it was practically a squash match.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Hendrick did quite a few kicks.
And then Abyss no sold the fuck out of it.
He's a big. Well, oh yeah, they obviously don't want the X Division title. They don't want the X Division to feature smaller guys, so they have to make them not strong.
But that's the whole point of the X Division.
Take it up with
smaller guys, the ones that WWE doesn't take.
Kendrick gets the shit kicked out of him by an injured Abyss. 5-minute squash match, and it pissed me the fuck off. I don't even like Brian Kendrick. It still upset me.
Stupid.
I like Brian Kendrick. Anyway, Kurt Angle talks about his match with RVD. Basically, the same promo as when Sting was talking about him. RVD's a dangerous guy, and like, yeah, I'm facing Jarrett at Slammiversary. Wait, he's facing Jarrett at Slam. Oh God.
Yes, and it's for his Olympic gold medal this time.
It's the feud that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friends.
No. But hey, let's move on to something happy. How about something happy, guys? Something happy? Yes. Something happy?
Second part of the night.
Versus Eric Young.
Oh yeah. Now we do kind of have to explain some of this, because if you were watching last week, Eric Young ran off with Gunner's TV title, and now Gunner has the original heavyweight title. So I guess they're.
Also, I want to say this in the span of. Oh, sorry.
I forgot what the plan was. I thought it was supposed to be like Gunner pins Eric, and he gets his title back, and then he gives Eric his title back. But yeah, go ahead.
I was just about to say this about the World Heavyweight titles. In the last 4 months, maybe 5 months, there have been 3 World Heavyweight Championship belts on TV. 2 of them are still being used.
And what is the significance of Eric Young's heavyweight title belt? Is it recognized by TNA?
No.
Of course not.
But the match is basically like, they're standing in the ring. Eric Young keeps on pointing his chest. Do the finger poke. Do the finger poke. Do the finger poke. And although they don't do it correctly, like Gunner pokes him, and then EY falls forward.
He does the Flair flop.
Yes, which was funnier.
But Gunner covers him, and then Eric Young just reverses it into a small package and gets the win.
And so your new TV champion is Eric Young.
Takes both belts, makes a beeline, and apologies to Nostalgia Critic, but a genius!
Am I the only one who thinks this is going to mark the end of Eric Young being retarded? Because that was a very smart plan.
Yeah, that was, like I said, I had a theory that he's really Kaiser Sose, but, like,
it was good. It was good. It was really funny.
For a comedy segment, it worked. Like,
that's how you do a comedy match.
And it was short, too.
It wasn't 5 minutes long after a prolonged beatdown, and then he was like, "Oh, this match was so funny."
But,
Well, I'm going to have to put some praise on Gunner because the faces he was making.
Oh yeah, he's playing a good straight man. I'll put him over.
Yeah, Gunner does a good job. I didn't doubt Gunner, just like I don't doubt El Dandy. But
What about Gunner's
I got
pal?
a coin pull the likes of which you've never seen.
Speaking of Gunner's pal, he's kind of vanished off the face of the earth, hasn't he?
He was fired.
He probably just exploded.
No, he was fired. Him and
No,
Rob
he
Terry.
wasn't fired. He was just kicked out of Immortal. That's it. He was not fired.
I need to check the roster page, see if he's still on
But
it.
yeah, Tenay and Taz, they have a shot of Tenay and Taz at the broadcast booth before the main event with RVD and Kurt Angle, and gee, they usually do this when someone else is joining them at commentary. Oh no. It's Jeff and Karen that's joining them.
Ah! Why would you do this?
Yeah, see what you've done to Mr. War Machine. He's turning into Nancy Kerrigan.
I do not want.
Sound like you're mutating.
Do not want.
Well, the commentary aside, the main event was decent. Like, I really can.
It was average. It's what I would expect from Kurt Angle and RVD when they're not trying.
Yeah, when they're not trying. God, this was supposed to be some big thing. They probably told them that they were going to build this as some huge deal. And they go out there and they put half an ass into it.
Well, see, the problem with it, well, that isn't necessarily as much their fault as it is the writing staff or the booking staff who decide, like, how much time something gets.
Like, still, I mean, even 15 minutes on their best night, they can put on at least a 4.5-star match. Like, you know, this proves even when they're trying, they still put on a decent match. But this was not the caliber of match we were promised. TNA, way to break promises.
I mean, yeah, they were building it up. They probably should have just built it up with one promo and left it at that. But nonetheless, they did their spot. Angle did his German suplexes and belly to bellies. Like, RV did his monkey flip, which Angle sold fucking really, really awkwardly. Like, he landed on his like lower back to his side. It was But either way, the finish pretty much happened when he gets the angle lock and RVD gets out of it, tries to go for the frog splash, and Angle gets the angle slam for the win. As a matter of fact,
it's the Orton slam.
Yeah.
By the way, by 10:45, we'd only had 18 minutes of wrestling on the show.
Yeah, we've kind of sped through this episode, but you know why?
Dude, there was worse.
The majority of footage on this episode of Impact, it was either recaps, backstage segments where there wasn't much to say, or people walking. That was at least 30% of the show.
You're 30%.
Probably more.
If you're going to build a show as where wrestling matters, wrestle!
I mean, that's hard. It's a decent match. Eric Young's match was entertaining. The Rob Van Dam, Kurt Angle, it could have been worse, but there was nothing to this show.
Which, ironically, means it was not a bad Impact.
Oh.
No. It was, again, Impact is getting better by increments every week.
I can't believe my standards are that low.
You remember, you gotta grade on the Impact curve.
See,
what their B is normally a D for real life.
How does Impact work?
Either way, the only thing I'm looking forward to at Slammiversary is Eric Young's involvement, because the fucker's on the poster. My avatar doesn't lie. And
there's something else on the Destination X poster, you guys.
Eric Young.
What?
Are you talking about Forward to the Past?
Forward
to the Past ring.
And the 6-sided ring.
No, that's Destination X.
Yeah, that's Destination X. That's not the next pay-per-view.
Oh.
But they are talking about Destination X already, so fair game.
Well, everybody knows that Slammiversary leads to Destination X.
Yeah.
Well, it used to lead to Victory Road until they kind of fucked that up.
Until Victory Road became the WrestleMania.
No, Victory Road's the build-up to Lockdown.
Oh, I mean, Lockdown became their WrestleMania. I mean, Bound for
Isn't Bound for Glory supposed to be their WrestleMania?
God, it's just like 4 WrestleManias. Nobody could agree. And nobody can agree now because they don't have a WrestleMania. Because it's always building to the next show. Or, as they like to do it now, their pay-per-views build to their impacts.
And on that groan, that is it for the Dark Match. We will move on to our weekly segment. What gets more screen time than Jay Lethal? And I'll start out. Dick gets more screen time than Jay Lethal.
Winter's fail-safe programming for Angelina Love gets more screen time than Jay Lethal.
The finger poke of doom got more screen time than Jay Lethal.
Winter massaging Angelina Love gets more screen time than Jay Lethal.
And nobody's arguing.
That's some option weighing that I'll have to do. But anyway, that was the Dark Match. Hey, Lake Placid 2 is on. I'm Christopher Says.
I'm Mr. War Machine, and Power Glove rules.
I'm the Revolver Man, and I
am, of course, Backlash, and we will see you next time.
Right. And you trampled over Revolver Man.
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear him.
Good night, and good luck, because we need it. Cue music.
Boom!